John Carter had just inherited his grandmother's old house in a quiet Ohio neighborhood, a place filled with childhood memories and the scent of her lavender garden. He drove up with his moving truck on a cold November morning, excited to start fresh after years of working long hours in the city. But when he pulled into the driveway, something felt off. The lights were on. Smoke rose from the chimney. His heart pounded as he walked to the front door and knocked. A young woman, no older than 30, opened it with two small children peeking from behind her legs. Her face went pale. She whispered his name like she had seen a ghost. John stood frozen, completely confused, wondering why strangers were living in the house that was legally his. The woman's name was Emily, and her hands trembled as she tried to explain. She said his grandmother had let her and her two kids, Sophie and Max, stay there after her husband died in a car accident 2 years ago. Emily had nowhere else to go, no family to turn to, and was drowning in medical bills and grief. His grandmother never told anyone. She just opened her door and her heart. Emily thought she had more time to figure things out, but now, standing face to face with the new owner, she realized her safe place was about to disappear. John felt his chest tighten. He looked at the children, their wide eyes filled with fear and confusion. He thought about his own struggles, the times he barely scraped by, the nights he went to bed hungry as a kid. He could have asked them to leave right then and there. He had every legal right, but something in him, maybe the memory of his grandmother's kindness, stopped him cold. He took a deep breath and said something that surprised even himself. He told Emily she could stay, not for a week, not for a month, but for as long as she needed. Emily broke down in tears, unable to believe what she was hearing. John reassured her that his grandmother would have wanted it this way. He said he would figure out his own plans, maybe rent a small apartment nearby, and that they could work together to make sure the kids had stability. That moment could have ended in anger, in eviction, in another family torn apart by circumstances. But instead, it became the start of something beautiful. Over the following weeks, John visited the house often. He fixed the leaking roof, repaired the broken porch steps, and even helped Sophie with her homework, while Max showed him his toy cars. Emily cooked meals for him, and slowly, the house felt less like an inherited property and more like a home again. The neighborhood started to notice. People saw a man who chose compassion over convenience, who gave up his own comfort to protect a struggling family. And if you are watching this right now and feel moved by this story, let me tell you something important. This is what Humanity Tales Studio is all about. We share real stories of real people doing extraordinary things when the world expects them to do nothing. If this story touched your heart, don't just scroll past it. Hit that subscribe button right now, because we need more kindness in this world. And your support helps us spread these stories to millions who need to hear them. One evening, about 2 months later, Emily sat John down at the kitchen table. She had found a steady job at a local clinic and had started saving money. She told him she wanted to start paying rent, that she did not want to take advantage of his generosity. John smiled and shook his head. He said the only payment he wanted was for her to keep being the amazing mother she already was. But Emily insisted. She said his grandmother taught her that dignity comes from standing on your own feet, even when someone offers you a hand. So they agreed. Emily would contribute what she could, and in return, John would help her plan for a future where she and her kids could eventually move into a place of their own, if that is what she wanted. But something unexpected happened along the way. The four of them became a family. Sophie started calling John Uncle John, and Max would wait by the window every evening for him to come by. They celebrated birthdays together, carved pumpkins for Halloween, and decorated the Christmas tree in the living room that once belonged to his grandmother. John realized he was not just helping them, they were helping him too. He had spent years chasing success in the city, feeling empty and alone. Now, surrounded by laughter and love, he finally understood what his grandmother had known all along, that the greatest wealth is not what you own, but what you give. Months turned into a year, and Emily's life transformed. She got promoted at work, enrolled in night classes to become a nurse, and even started a small savings account for her kids' education. John stayed involved every step of the way, cheering her on like family does. The house, once a symbol of loss, became a symbol of hope. People in the neighborhood would stop by just to hear their story, inspired by the kindness that started with one simple choice. John could have been selfish. He could have put his own needs first, but he chose to see the humanity in front of him, to honor the legacy of a grandmother who believed in second chances. And that choice did not just save Emily and her kids, it saved him too. It reminded him that life is not about what we accumulate, but about the love we leave behind and the lives we touch along the way. So, if this story made you feel something deep inside, if it reminded you that goodness still exists in this world,
then do not keep it to yourself.
Share this video with your friends, your family, anyone who needs to be reminded that one act of kindness can change everything.
Subscribe to Humanity Tales Studio because we are building a community of people who believe in the power of compassion, and we need you to be part of it. Together, we can make kindness go viral. John and Emily's story is proof that sometimes the greatest blessings come disguised as unexpected challenges, and the greatest heroes are ordinary people who choose love over fear.
This is the kind of world we can build, one story at a time, one choice at a time, one heart at a time.